Employee performance is important to the company in order to track and evaluate how they are performing. It helps give insight to areas where an employee may need additional support or training. It helps determine if the employee is being compensated properly or if it's time to give them a raise. This process is not only important for the employee, but for the company as a whole. Having an employee performance process in place helps strengthen your team. It provides additional support to your employees. It helps enhance their performance, experience, and the morale. Not only is it important to have an employee evaluation process in place, but it is also equally important it is just administered properly. If an employee feels they are being evaluated inaccurately, this can cause them to lose self-esteem, gain resentment towards the company and management. This can be damaging to the morale of the employee, but also as the company as a whole. Money and time has been wasted in the evaluation, as well as future performance could drop significantly if they do not feel appreciated or their hard work is being recognized. In order to implement an evaluation process, we have to first develop the evaluation form with the proper questions. Performance and skill measures for each position will be needed to be determined and observed. The ability for feedback needs to be in place with the proper guidelines. Development of how the evaluation will be delivered and tailored to the appropriate audience. Each department and position may require a different delivery method. A budget needs to be set for the amount of funds we can afford to invest in this process. An evaluation schedule needs to be set in place, allowing enough time to communicate to the employees if any training will be needed to be provided in an effective way for us to measure the results and effectiveness of this process. There are 3 types of assessments that need to be performed. First, the organization assessment. This helps determine the skills, knowledge, and abilities a company needs to meet their goals, objectives, and agenda. It looks at what changes may be required, such as technology enhancements or upgrades, or even a change in demographics. It views the organization as a whole and where actions needs to be taken to improve weaknesses while enhancing their strengths. The second is occupational assessment, where we need to look at each position and evaluate what skills, knowledge, and abilities are required to complete the job. Finally, there's the individual assessment. This is where we assess each individual and look at their performance and determine if additional training is required. There are a few different methods we can use to gather the information needed to evaluate our employees. We can choose 1, 2, or all if desired. The more information collected, the better results, as long as we can achieve it within our budget and time frame. The first is the graphic rating skill. This is an evaluation where the employee is rated on their performance either by sequential rating or even meets requirement, underperforming, exceeds expectations, occasionally, for example. The next is what is called the 360-degree feedback method. This is where individuals are assessed by their coworkers, management, and even customers. This evaluation allows us to see similarities and differences in each review, allowing us to note the individual's strengths and weaknesses. This gives us a deeper insight where each individual may require additional support. Another concept is the self-evaluation method. This is pretty self-explanatory. The employee evaluates their own performance. We can create a form with specific questions or areas we want them to rate their performance on. Another is the management by objectives. This process allows the employee and management to work together to determine their performance is aligned with the company goals. This allows management to provide a clear understanding of what is expected and required. The training process framework is similar to the process of the employee evaluation. Assessment of what training is required, the appropriate learning style for each individual in their department, along with an effective delivery method. Depending on how the employee learns will depend if it will be hands-on or what method will be best. A budget for the additional support/trainings must be set with clear communication of when it is expected to be started and completed. A new evaluation should be given within 60 days after the training has been completed to help measure the effectiveness. I would like to see this appraisal process take effect immediately once we are prepared for the assessment. Once in place, all current employees will go through the process, then again in 6 months to help us measure the effectiveness. We will continue to do it every 6 months until we see fit, but never less than once a year. All new hires will be evaluated after their first 90 days with the company, then again on their 6-month, 1 year, 1.5 year anniversary, and then after that they will undergo an annual review. The goals of implementing this process is to help strengthen our teams and create better teamwork, provide a clear understanding of individuals' weaknesses and strengths so we can provide them with the additional support and training they require, providing positive feedback to help boost morale, provide positive and or constructive feedback to help create excitement in their position, allows them to see where we recognize their hard work and how much they are valued. Better employee performance will increase productivity and profit.